Ever heard of a water pig? Well, that's not just a funny nickname, it's the capybara, the largest rodent on Earth. And believe it or not, this chill, gentle creature could make the perfect pet, calm, kind, and incredibly social. But, there's one problem, it's huge. A capybara can weigh as much as a small person, and it absolutely needs water, not just a bowl, but a whole pond or even a pool to feel at home. People across South and Central America have known this animal for centuries. They call it by many names, caprincho, conio, corpinho, capigua, or xigayar. But the most accurate name probably came from the Tupi tribes of Brazil. In their language, capybara literally means, the one who eats thin grass. And that's exactly what it does, it's a full-time grass muncher. Now, what does a capybara actually look like? Imagine a giant guinea pig, crossed with a dog, and just a hint of a lazy hippo. It's got a big, almost square head, small round ears, and these adorable bright orange teeth, which, by the way, never stop growing. Their fur is rough and coarse, kind of like a scrubbing brush, and they don't have any soft undercoat. That's why capybaras love mud baths, not for fun, but to protect their skin from the hot sun. Their body looks like a furry barrel on short, webbed legs, perfect for swimming. A typical capybara weighs between 50 and 75 kilograms, though females can reach almost 90. They stand about half a meter tall, like a big dog, but are way more chill. Their color can range from reddish-brown to dark chocolate, with a lighter, yellowish belly, and sometimes even black spots on the face. Baby capybaras are lighter in color, and just about the cutest thing you'll ever see. Where does the capybara call home? This chill, water-loving giant roams across Central and South America, from the wetlands of Brazil and Venezuela to the forests of Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, and Bolivia, and even down to Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Basically, if there's water nearby, you'll probably find a capybara. They love the edges of rivers and lakes covered with floating plants like water lettuce and hyacinths, but they're just as comfortable in flooded savannas, grassy fields, and even mangrove swamps. These animals can live at altitudes up to 1,300 meters, as long as their most important need is met, a good body of water, never more than half a kilometer away. Because everything about a capybara's life revolves around water. It's where they drink, cool off, nap, play, and yes, even fall in love. Capybaras are highly social. They live in small groups of up to 20 members, usually led by a dominant male. The rest of the group is made up of females, their young, and a few subordinate males, though if one of them challenges the boss, he'll quickly be kicked out. That's why about 10% of all males live solo, wandering from place to place. Each capybara group has its own territory, a few to several hundred hectares wide. And they mark it in a very fragrant way. Both males and females use special anal glands to leave scent marks, while dominant males also have a musk gland on their nose, which gives off a smell that basically says, "I'm the boss here." Conflicts between groups are rare, but when they do happen, things can get rough. Fights between males from different herds can end badly, though within one group they usually keep it civil. During the rainy season, capybaras spread out over large areas, but when the dry season hits, they all gather around whatever water is left, sometimes thousands of them crowding together. In extreme droughts, they can travel up to 1,000 kilometers in search of water. Early in the morning, before the sun gets too hot, capybaras hang out by the water's edge. As the heat rises, they slip into the water or wallow in mud to cool down. They don't dig burrows or build nests, they simply rest right on the ground, often sitting on their haunches like dogs. Unlike many rodents, they don't hold their food with their front paws, they just lean down and graze peacefully. Their active time starts around 4 p.m., peaks after sunset, and continues late into the night. They don't sleep much, maybe just a few short naps between midnight snacks. When they move, capybaras can either shuffle slowly or hop in quick little gallops, and if danger strikes, they dash straight for the water, where they're truly in their element. Their webbed feet make them excellent swimmers, and their thick layer of fat helps them float with ease. And here's a fun part, capybaras are very talkative. They communicate with an entire orchestra of sounds, barks, whistles, clicks, grunts, purrs, and even tooth chattering. Each sound has meaning, barking warns of danger, clicking means everything's fine, and teeth grinding says, back off. And when kept in captivity, they even whine softly to beg for food, basically, the world's cutest guilt trip. How long does a capybara live? In the wild, these gentle, water pigs usually live up to 10 years, not bad for the world's largest rodent. But under human care, in sanctuaries, zoos, or with experienced keepers, capybaras can live well beyond 10 years, sometimes reaching 12 or even 15, if they're treated right and have enough space and water to relax in. So what do they eat? Capybaras are strict herbivores, plant eaters through and through. Their diet is surprisingly rich in protein-packed greens. They graze on a wide variety of plants. Half-aquatic species, soft grasses, hardy drought-resistant herbs, sedges, tree bark, fruits, and even roots and tubers. They especially love munching on sugarcane, grains, and melons, which, well, doesn't make farmers very happy. In fact, in some parts of South America, capybaras are even listed as agricultural pests because they raid crop fields like giant guinea pigs on a buffet run. When drought season hits, they move on to cattle pastures, sharing the same grazing grounds as livestock, and becoming unexpected competitors for food. And here's one of nature's strangest facts. Capybaras actually eat their own droppings. Yep, that's right, it's called coprophagy. By redigesting their food, they extract even more nutrients from tough plant fibers, especially cellulose, which is hard to break down the first time around. Now, let's talk about love and family. Capybaras can breed year-round, but most often they time their romantic season with the start of the rains. In Venezuela, that's around April to May, while in Brazil it's October to November. Males attract females using a special scent gland on their noses, marking plants with a musky odor, basically saying, hey, I'm available. When a female is ready, she's fertile for only 8 hours, a tiny window in her 10-day cycle. If a male senses it, the chase begins, sometimes quite literally. Mating usually happens in shallow water, where the female feels safer. She may mate up to 20 times during her cycle, sometimes with multiple males. After that, she carries her babies for about 5 months, and most litters are born between September and November. Usually, a female gives birth once a year, though if food is plentiful and predators are few, she might have 2 litters. She doesn't dig burrows, instead, she gives birth right on the ground. Each litter has between 2 and 8 pups, born fully furred, eyes open, and already equipped with tiny teeth. Each newborn weighs around 1.5 kilograms, like a big loaf of bread with legs. And here's something adorable, in a capybara family, every female helps care for the young. They babysit, groom, and protect the little ones together, true community parenting. The babies start nibbling on grass almost immediately after birth, but they continue to nurse for about 4 months. By the time they're a year and a half old, weighing around 30 kilograms, young capybaras are ready to start families of their own. Natural enemies. Despite their impressive size, capybaras aren't exactly built for battle. They have no claws, no fangs, no armor, just a calm heart and a quick dive reflex. Out in the wild, these gentle giants are surrounded by danger. Their main predators include alligators, jaguars, caimans, ocelots, crocodiles, and wild dogs. For young capybaras, the threat is even greater, feral dogs and birds of prey often hunt them. But nature gave the capybara one powerful escape route: water. The moment danger appears, it dives in and disappears beneath the surface, leaving only its nostrils peeking out, quietly breathing while predators lose track of it. However, the biggest threat to capybaras isn't from the jungle, it's from humans. People have long hunted them for their meat, their large orange teeth, and their thick hides. And here's a truly curious fact. About 300 years ago, the Catholic Church officially declared the capybara to be a fish. Sounds wild, right? But that odd decision meant that during Lent, when meat was forbidden, people could still enjoy capybara dishes without breaking any rules. Of course, that ruling was eventually reversed, but by then, the custom had already spread across parts of South America. Today, capybaras are farmed legally for their meat, leather, and even their fatty tissue, which is used in some local products. But many still fall victim to angry farmers when they wander into cultivated fields, keeping a capybara as a pet. Now, you might be wondering, could you actually own one of these adorable creatures? Technically, yes. But it's far from easy. Buying a capybara from a licensed breeder can cost you over 120,000 rubles, and that's just the beginning. To truly make a capybara happy, you'll need a large countryside home, a backyard pond or pool, and a warm indoor space for winter. Their diet should include fresh fruits and vegetables, grass and hay, and sometimes dog food or rodent pellets for extra nutrients. And here's something important, a capybara's teeth never stop growing, so they must always have hard branches, like willow or birch, to gnaw on and keep their teeth filed down. Yes, a capybara can become a loving, gentle, and loyal companion. But keeping one requires dedication, space, and a deep understanding of what makes this water pig truly happy. Here's the video. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.